What makes the difference in results? Two kids grow up in the same neighborhood, go to the same school, had the same upbringing, are the same age, and one's working at McDonald's and the other one's on yachts with Dan Blazarian 20 years after graduating. How does this happen? And of course, from an economic standpoint, the difference is the value they brought in the marketplace. But my question to pose to you would be, how did they bring that value to the marketplace? How were they more valuable to the marketplace? How did they get there? And for that answer, we can go and point to all thinkers across all generations have agreed upon one basic principle. We become what we think about. And to quote the great Jim Rohn, I want you to write this down. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it. What happens to just about everybody. We've all had our share. But what you do, how you react, what you do after, that's the difference. That's what counts. So when you look at people at your age bracket, when you look at people that have had similar experiences to you, the difference in the results that you're getting is the mind. That's the difference. It's the mind. How you think and how you operate is going to greatly determine the outcome of your life. Now we're going to go over some basic principles about how the mind actually works. And because our mindset shapes our reality, it's the thing that guides us. It's the easiest way to predict, the most accurate way to predict the outcome of someone's life is their own thoughts, their own belief system. Now I'm going to share with you the most valuable drawing I have ever seen. In the 1930s, Dr. Truman Fleet, brilliant doctor by the way, said, hey, no one's ever seen the mind. If something that every thinker across all generation agreed, this one principle is guiding us through everything, and nobody's ever seen it. You ask someone to draw a picture of the mind, and they'll immediately visualize, immediately think about the brain. Now, the brain is beautiful. The brain is magnificent, but at its core, it's just an electronic switching station. It just tells my hand to do this, to move up and down. It tells me what I'm feeling. It tells me about my senses. But that's not my mind. My mind is guiding me through the thought power that I'm getting. But what is the mind? What is guiding me? And that's what we're going to cover today. So the first point is thought power. So energy flows to and through us. We are all made up of energy. If you looked at us on a CT scan, you'd see it wouldn't just be our bodies. There'd be energy frequencies around us. Now, where does this thought power come from? We can go more in depth, much more in depth into that, but everyone calls it something different. Some people call it the universe, some people call it God. Everyone has their own definition. But at a core basic principle, some type of energy is flowing into us. What that energy is, you can make your own assumption. But something is flowing into us, giving us energy to manufacture these thoughts. Now what happens here is this is going to represent the mind. This big circle is going to represent the mind, and the little circle represents the body. Now as these thoughts flow to and through us, they flow into our conscious mind first. So the thoughts flow into our conscious mind first. This basically just means we are aware that these thoughts are in us. We are aware of the emotions that it's causing. And then below that, it goes through to the subconscious mind. These are thoughts we're unaware of, not directly in our forefront of thinking. As a belief, so how does this work? So as a belief becomes more and more ingrained in us, as something we've learned becomes more repetitive to us, it becomes natural. So when you first start driving a car, you're thinking completely with your conscious mind because you have no idea what you're doing, so you need to be absolutely aware of everything. But what the mind does is once we learn these beliefs, once we learn how to drive the stick shift car, it slowly turns off our thinking towards that action, and the thought power just runs straight through it. Because you don't need to think about it anymore, because it's going to use this energy for what it perceives as the most valuable. So if you've had these beliefs, you don't need to think about them anymore. So now when you drive a car, you don't think about how to turn the ignition. You don't think about what gear to put in to start. You don't think about what to do when when the light turns red. It's natural. Your brain just understands what exactly to do. It's because your mind is programming it. Now, what we want to do is we want to program our own mind to believe what we want to believe to be successful. So what we need to do is become aware of the beliefs that are already in our subconscious mind. We need to build awareness to our beliefs because our beliefs affect our actions. And if our actions today and in the past year, 2 years, 3 years are not giving us the results that we want, we need to change the actions. How do we start changing the actions? Well, you change the belief system. How do you change the belief system? You start becoming aware. So right now your beliefs are completely in your subconscious mind. The reason you're broke is because all your beliefs are leading you to that. What you need to do is become aware of why. Start to ask the right questions. Start to change your actions. Become conscious of why you're broke. And you will begin to change your actions as you become aware. And over time, your beliefs will change and your subconscious mind will be reprogrammed for success. Now, how do we change these beliefs? You can't just do it tomorrow. You can't just watch this video and your beliefs will be magically changed. What you need is repetition. Repetition, doing things over and over and over. That takes discipline, that takes persistence, that takes resilience. You need to keep doing it. Keep ingraining your beliefs. Watch a Bob Proctor video. Watch it 100 times. Watch it 1,000 times. Re-ingrain, reprogram your mind to believe what you need to believe. Because when it's all said and done, this subconscious mind is going to steer you in any direction that you're going to go. Your subconscious mind is automatically causing you to act and do whatever the things that you're doing. What you need to do is just become cognizant of these actions, cognizant of what your mind is doing, and reprogram it so that the actions that you're doing automatically are already steering you in the direction that you want to go. So once you believe this, once you understand that you can control the mind and things don't just happen to you, it's what you do about it. It's how you control your belief system. It's how you program your mind. Once you understand that, then we can get into the vision. Visualize exactly what you want your life to look like. Where do you live? Who do you live with? How much money do you have? Get a clear mental image of the person you see and the life that you ultimately want to have. And start to ask the right questions about your subconscious mind. And what beliefs do I have ingrained in my mind that's leading me to the result that I'm getting? And how could I change it to my vision, become conscious of it, to then make it a habit, and now my brain is programmed for my vision. But the keyest point here, and what's going to make all the difference, is the repetition point. The ability to keep doing it over and over and over again. Because these beliefs, the more you fed them, the more they've grown. What I mean by that is the more you've acted upon those beliefs, the stronger they become because your mind thinks that's the way you want to go. So the more you've acted upon it, the harder it's going to be to break down that limiting belief or break down that belief that's causing you into the life that you don't want. So you need repetition, you need discipline, you need consistency, you need focus. You need to get really clear on what you want. Get really clear on this vision. Start to come up with reasons as to why. Set goals. Get something that motivates you, that gets you up in the morning. Self-motivation is the only type there is. You need to motivate yourself through reasons and set goals that get you to your ultimate vision. Now that's a lot to cover about the mind. There's a ton of more reasons and a ton of more topics you can go in depth with on this, but I think that's a good starting point. So the difference in the marketplace, what makes the difference is value. How you create that value is through your mind.